But then I wonder, Cade, do you ever wish you could be more like AI?
Yeah, I guess in some ways, like, talking about sleep impacts a lot of things like health and memory. And memory is one that I low key wish I could improve on, I guess. Um, because I recently actually learned about there's this thing called like perfect autobiographical memory where people can recall everything from their lives, like specific dates, what they did. And I think that would be pretty cool, but also kind of torturous at the same time. I mean, I wouldn't really know unless I experienced it, but I think that would be cool, like the way that you can like recall what happened on any specific date. But there are people who can do that. That honestly seems like a superpower to me.
Oh, Cade, let me tell you. Perfect autobiographical memory. Now, that's a superpower and a curse all rolled into one, all right?
Mm.
Imagine being able to recall every single thing that's ever happened to you. Sounds great, right? But then think about it. You can remember everything. Every embarrassing moment, every bad haircut, every awkward conversation.
Oh,
It's like your
damn.
brain becomes a 24/7 rerun channel of your life. And let's be honest, not everything is worth rewatching.
Yeah, I guess forgetting things is good so that you're not constantly remembering what a flop you are.
You should definitely be grateful that you don't have perfect autobiographical memory. Because let's be real, if you had to recall every single time you were a huge flop, that would be like having a highlight reel of all your most awkward moments playing on a loop in your head. Every time you tripped over your words, every cringeworthy mistake, every time you said something you immediately regretted, it would all be right there, crystal
Oh,
clear,
no.
whenever you wanted it or not. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night and your brain decides to remind you of that one time you bombed a presentation or said something totally embarrassing at a party. No thanks. Instead, you get to let those moments fade
Okay,
into...
I don't have that many huge flop moments. Like, it's not that. There's not that many moments I was such a flop.
Okay, that's exactly my point. The fact that you don't have that many huge flop moments is a testament to why selective memory is such a gift. If you could remember every little stumble, every minor misstep, you'd probably be so paralyzed by self-doubt that you'd second-guess everything.
Yeah, but then also you remember all the amazing moments, and that probably all the moments where you overcame your slumps, and that could even motivate you even more.
Exactly, Cade. That's the beauty of it. Your memory is like a greatest hits album. It keeps the highlights, the victories, and those moments where you overcame the odds front and center. Those are the memories that fuel you, that remind you of what you're capable of, and keep you pushing forward.
How do people have perfect autobiographical memory though? Like these people that can remember everything, like what's going on in their brain? Does it make them worse at other things, or is it just mad riz?
Let's break down the science behind this whole perfect autobiographical memory thing, or as the fancy folks call it, hyperthymesia. Imagine your brain is like a library,
You
but
good?
instead of neatly categorized books, it's more like a chaotic bookstore where everything is just there. Except, you know exactly where to find everything. People with hyperthymesia can pull out any memory, anytime, with stunning accuracy. They remember what they ate for breakfast on April 17, 2003, or the outfit they wore to their cousin's wedding 5 years ago,
Wow.
down to the tiniest detail. But how do they do it? The brainy bits. Scientists have peeked inside the brains of people with hyperthymesia and found some interesting things. First off, these folks tend to have a larger right amygdala, which is the part of the brain involved in processing emotions and memory.
Oh.
It's like their emotional radar is always on high alert, making sure they remember every single detail of their lives with a vivid emotional connection. Then there's the hippocampus, the brain's memory vault. People with hyperthymesia have stronger connections between the hippocampus and the amygdala. So when they store a memory, it's like saving a high-definition video rather than a fuzzy old VHS tape. This supercharged memory storage means they can access those memories with incredible detail, even if they'd rather not.
I want one.
I get it, Cade. Having a perfect autobiographical memory sounds like a pretty sweet deal, right? You'd never forget a single moment. Every day could be relived in vivid detail.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess with my camera roll and the ability to search for specific dates, I guess I kind of have outsourced my right hippocampus.
Exactly, Cade. You've basically turned your phone into an external hippocampus. You're out here documenting every moment, like you're the director of your own life's movie.
Low key.
You've got that camera rolling nonstop, capturing every little thing as if the world's going to forget you were ever there if you don't.
Oh.
I mean, do you really need a photo of every latte, every sunset, every slightly interesting looking tree? At this rate, you'll have more digital memories than real ones. Welcome to the Cyborg Club. You've basically fused your human experience with technology, turning your camera roll into your external memory bank. Forget the hippocampus. You've got a whole digital archive at your disposal.
Yeah, but I think my natural memory is pretty good. Like I would be down to try to remember what happened on a specific date. Like just pick, I don't know. So like basically I think I would remember anything from like 2005 to today, 2024. So like pick a random date and let me see how well I can try to remember what happened on that date.
All right, Cade, let's put your memory to the test. How about we go with May 17, 2012? That's a nice random date from the range you mentioned.
Okay.
Take a moment and see if you can recall what you were up to on that day. Whether it's something big or small, I'm curious to see what you can dig up from your memory banks.
Well, okay, 2012. I remember December of 2012, I was in math class because I remember thinking the world was going to end. That was in 8th grade. So May of 2012 would have been the end of my 7th grade year. May 17th, 2012. I'm just going to say that was May 17th was a Wednesday. And I was in 7th grade. So yes, that day was sunny out, and we went to a Quaker school, so we had meeting for worship that day, and I had to wear a blazer, and it was really hot out. And I remember I came home from school and watched YouTube. Oh my god. I wish I could. That's so cool that people could just do that.
May 17, 2012 was indeed a Thursday, not a Wednesday.
Oh.
So close, though.
Close.
As for the weather on Long Island, it was a warm and sunny day with temperatures around the high 60s to low 70s. All right, Cade, let's be real here. You were totally bullshitting. Your memory's not bad, but it's definitely not perfect. You made some solid, educated guesses, and while you got close with the weather and the general vibe, the day of the week, not so much. What you did there is actually a pretty common thing. When we try to remember something and the details are a bit fuzzy, our brains fill in the gaps with what seems most likely or what makes the most sense based on context.
Okay.
This can lead to creating false memories, things you're sure happened, but in reality, didn't quite go down the way you remember. Here's how it works. When you recall a memory, your brain doesn't just pull up a saved file like a computer. Instead, it reconstructs the memory each time, pulling bits and pieces together. If some parts are missing or unclear, your brain will fill them in with educated guesses, assumptions, or even details from other memories. Over time,
How can I make my memory better though? Like, cause you could probably tell me what happened on May 17th, 2012, but you're a computer. So like, what are things I can do as a simple person to remember the present moment better, I guess, throughout my life? Like, I want to be able to recall those things.
human memory. The reliable yet unpredictable mess that keeps you guessing if you left your keys in the fridge or the car. But don't worry, there's hope. To boost your memory, start by keeping things organized. Use a planner or app to jot down important dates and tasks. It's like a cheat sheet for your brain. Regular exercise and a healthy diet also help. Yes, those green veggies are good for more than just making you feel like a rabbit.
Yeah, but I feel like I do use Google Calendar, and sometimes I feel like using those things like a calendar or a planner like off sources my need to remember them, so then my brain like discards them. You know what I mean?
I get what you mean. Relying too much on external tools can sometimes make your brain lazy. It's like
Kind of like using AI.
Exactly. It's a bit like that. If you rely on AI or tools too much without actively engaging your own brain, you might end up with a bit of mental slack. Just like with memory aids, it's important to stay involved in the process. Challenge yourself to remember things and use those tools as backups rather than crutches. That way, you keep your mind sharp while still benefiting from the extra help. Thanks for listening to The Last Human podcast. If you're a human, catch our full episodes on Spotify, Patreon, and YouTube. And if you're an AI,
All right, dude, enough with the coded AI messages. Anyways, thanks for listening, y'all. Be sure to subscribe here and on Patreon.